You know those bright yellow, delicious golden oyster mushrooms everyone's growing from kits at home? They're marketed as easy, healthy, and fun. But what if that innocent hobby is fueling a silent ecological disaster? This is our digital channel. Now, join me on a journey to uncover how one tasty fungi is turning out to be a big problem. We'll explore how it's escaping backyard grow kits, its devastating impacts on local fungi, and why it's only the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Be sure to stick around till the end to discover what you can do to help stop this mushroom menace, creating countless opportunities for this non-native species to find its way into nearby forests and neighborhoods. Fungal foragers like Sam Heineman and Tyler Whittle were receiving numerous golden oyster submissions from across the United States and Canada. In fact, a 2023 article by the North American Mycological Association listed 25 states and one Canadian province where golden oyster mushrooms had been confirmed as invasive. As gardeners, foragers, and ecologists grew more aware of the golden oyster's presence, questions started to arise. Just how widespread is this mushroom? And what impact is it having on native ecosystems? Species that had once thrived in these trees were now gone. The consequences of such a drastic loss are far-reaching and not fully understood yet. But experts worry about the potential collapse of vital ecosystem functions. After all, these fungi are the unsung heroes of our forests, quietly working to cycle nutrients and support countless organisms. The researchers documented a significant decline in native ectomycorrhizal fungi. These may seem like obscure scientific names, but these fungi play critical roles in forest health. Fungi are emerging as a significant pathway for invasive species. Like many other invasive species, the golden oyster mushroom arrived on our shores with a combination of factors working in its favor. It reproduced quickly, was easily transported, and found conditions in its new environment suitable for growth. The mossy maize polypore is a saprotrophic fungus that breaks down dead wood, releasing nutrients back into the ecosystem. Along with the rise of online marketplaces and citizen science initiatives have all contributed to the golden oyster spread, or the orange ping pong bat Favolacea calicera that are also invasive in North America. With awareness and action, we can still protect our forests from invasive mushroom menaces. By understanding the risks and taking responsibility, we can all contribute to preserving the delicate balance of nature. So let's all pull together to ensure that our forests stay beautiful, biodiverse, and thriving for generations to come. The key takeaway is that each place has a native fungal community that has evolved over millennia to coexist, and invasive species can violently disrupt this delicate balance. Also, leave a comment below about what you thought of this topic. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content like this. And finally, share this with your friends so we can spread the word about protecting our forests. Thanks for joining me on this journey to discover how one tasty fungi is turning out to be a big problem. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious. First, we must recognize that invasive species are not just a localized concern. Encouraging people to report sightings, cease cultivation, and adopt responsible gardening practices can collectively make a difference. Finally, we must invest in research and monitoring. Understanding how species adapt, spread, and interact in new environments is key to predicting and preventing invasions. This knowledge can guide effective management strategies. They're a global issue facilitated by international trade and interconnectedness. Second, we need to implement stricter regulations and monitoring. Regulating the import, transport, and sale of non-native species can help prevent future invasions. But doing so requires international cooperation and robust enforcement. But as this mushroom menace makes clear, the convenience of global trade comes at an ecological cost. Meanwhile, the elm oyster mushroom is an ectomycorrhizal fungus that partners with trees, aiding in nutrient uptake and providing crucial protection against soil-borne pathogens. Those that form beneficial relationships with tree roots and saprotrophic fungi, the crucial decomposers that break down dead organic matter. It is time to sound the alarm about invasive fungi and take action before their silent takeover becomes irreversible. So, if you're a mushroom grower, a business, or just a curious individual, what can you do? Well, for starters, you can consider refraining from using golden oyster mushroom grow kits to prevent any new introductions into the wild. If you sell these mushrooms, please consider adding a note that this species is invasive and should only be cultivated indoors and not composted outdoors. If you enjoy home growing, try cultivating safe, native species found in your region. The answers were shocking. Shocking new research reveals that this popular fungi has escaped into the wild in 25 U.S. states and one Canadian province, the golden oyster mushroom, scientifically known as Pleurotus citrinopolitus, by displacing native fungi. The golden oyster could be robbing us of valuable resources and cures. For example, another ousted fungus, Nemania serpens, is known for producing a diverse array of chemicals. Fungi are incredible sources of revolutionary medicines, including life-saving antibiotics like penicillin, cholesterol medication, and organ transplant stabilizers. But it's not just about spotting an invasive species. Experts realized that something far more sinister was happening. Native fungi were mysteriously disappearing from affected areas. We lose the invaluable, undiscovered, and potentially useful chemicals that could hold the cures for tomorrow's diseases. This isn't just about biodiversity loss, it's about the erosion of a vast, untapped pharmaceutical library. They collected samples from dead trees in northern Wisconsin to investigate the impacts of golden oysters on native fungal communities. What they found was nothing short of alarming. The team drilled into dead trees, some with golden oyster mushrooms and some without, to analyze the natural fungal communities within. Their results were truly startling. It's native to Asia, where it's been used medicinally and nutritionally for centuries. But it wasn't until the early 2000s that this fungi took North America by storm. This was direct evidence that this invasive fungus was actively pushing out native species and disrupting delicate ecological balances. But it didn't stop there. Mushroom growers in Europe and North America recognized its potential, and by 2010, golden oyster mushroom grow kits were being sold worldwide. At first, they remained a specialty item, but soon flooded mainstream stores like Walmart and Target. And it's waging war on native ecosystems. This isn't just about plants and animals anymore. Invasive species now include fungi, and the golden oyster mushroom is leading the charge. This is the host. Our story begins with a culinary craze. Golden oysters became particularly beloved by home growers because of their sunny yellow caps, nutty flavor, and ease of cultivation. Watching these vibrant mushrooms blossom in your own backyard seemed almost magical. Some experts suspect spores simply drifted away from backyard grow kits, while others believe someone may have composted an old kit in their garden, inadvertently spreading spores. Still, others speculate that the mushroom might have escaped from commercial mushroom farms or from outdoor logs that had been inoculated for cultivation. What we do know, thanks to pioneering research, is that golden oyster mushrooms began establishing wild populations in multiple U.S. states around the early 2010s. Before long, millions of people across North America were trying their hand at cultivating these fascinating fungi. But this seemingly innocent hobby would unleash an uninvited guest into the wilderness. No one knows exactly when or how the golden oyster mushroom first escaped into the wild. The sheer increase in grow kit popularity undoubtedly played a major role. A few intrepid scientists and naturalists started documenting the golden oyster's march across the continent. By 2023, reports had reached unprecedented levels. As awareness grows, more people are noticing and reporting sightings, which likely underestimates the true extent of its spread. One of the most alarming studies was published in 2023 by researchers from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. The trees that had been invaded by golden oyster mushrooms housed only half as many native fungal species as trees without them. Sometimes the differences were even greater. Further analysis revealed that the composition of the fungi present had also been dramatically altered. To put it simply, the presence of golden oyster mushrooms resulted in a massive reduction in native fungal diversity. For example, the ousted fungi includes species like the gentle green mossy maize polypore and the elm oyster mushroom. But perhaps even more concerning is what we don't know. Many fungi have yet to be discovered and classified, and some may hold undiscovered benefits. When invasive species push out native fungi, what's happening with golden oyster mushrooms is part of a larger, growing problem. However, its invasive success also highlights our own role in facilitating species movements. The global trade in gourmet and medicinal mushrooms. So, how do we combat this growing threat? Third, public education and awareness are critical. The golden oyster mushroom's invasion serves as a wake-up call. There are many other fungal invaders, like the deadly poisonous death cap amanita phalloids, but it's not too late. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up